The Rough Riders it's basically a regiment that Teddy Roosevelt himself put together. All volunteers. And this is during the Spanish-American War. There was a law on the books in the military that said that if you put together your own regiment of volunteers, then you could command that regiment whether you had any military history or experience at all. So Teddy quit his job as Assistant Secretary of the Navy, which is second in charge of the United States Navy, to put together a regiment, to go to Cuba and...
Students, because of the cold weather, the school board has allowed you to wear jeans this week. Not sweatpants, jeans.
All right. So anyway, he wanted to go to Cuba, and he wanted to become the hero of the Spanish-American War. Okay, so Teddy Roosevelt goes out, and he accomplishes exactly that by capturing San Juan Hill and forcing the Spanish fleet out of the harbor and making them get sunk by the U.S. Navy. We're going to talk about that in detail in the chapter. The Teller Resolution. Okay, resolution means a promise, or you're making a decision. Okay. Before the Spanish-American War breaks out, America promised Cuba that they would give them their independence once the Spanish were out of the picture. The reason for the Teller Resolution was to make it where Cuba became our allies instead of enemies during the Spanish-American War. So we in Cuba fought Spain at the same time instead of Cuba fighting Spain and America at the same time. After the war was over, we're supposed to give them their freedom, right? Well, not quite. Okay, the American government steps in and says, you have to put the Platt Amendment, named after a senator, Platt Amendment in your Constitution. Okay, the Platt Amendment says this, that Cuba is going to give the United States, for a lease, like rent the United States, 2 areas of Cuba, so we could put military Navy bases on the island of Cuba so we could defend it in case the Spanish ever came back. It was a way for us to control the entire Gulf of Mexico. So in order for us to honor the Teller Resolution, they had to pass the Platt Amendment. And they did. And we still have a Navy base there today. It's called Guantanamo Bay. That's where we keep all of our terrorists today. So number 13 is the Square Deal. Okay. This is Teddy Roosevelt's domestic policy. That's what you need to know for the definition. Domestic policy is a president's policy towards his own country, okay, towards America. Now, what he said in the Square Deal is that everything from now on is going to be fair. Everything's going to be fair and square, right? So, Teddy Roosevelt is declaring war on the robber barons, which is a very gutsy move, and he did this his first day in office whenever he got sworn in at his inauguration. His speech was called the Square Deal. So, 14, bully pulpit. So, Teddy Roosevelt was a way different kind of president. Okay, all the Gilded Age presidents were bought off by the robber barons, with the exception of Grover Cleveland, because he was a Democrat at the time. And Roosevelt wanted to see this corruption of the Gilded Age end. He wanted to see honest politicians. He wanted to see the American people get their opportunities back. So he stepped in not as an executive, not as an administrator. He stepped in as leader of the American people. And he said that the presidency was his bully pulpit. Now, a pulpit is a podium that a preacher stands at. So in other words, this is his position of power, that he is going to bully Congress and the media into doing and saying what he wants to say. And it's a totally different type of president. Bringing us to the last one for this episode, or this video, Teddy Roosevelt, Theodore Roosevelt. The youngest president ever at the age of 42. Teddy Roosevelt becomes president when William McKinley is shot and killed. Okay, he's 42 years old. Now, the youngest president ever elected is John F. Kennedy. He was 43. But the reason why he's the youngest president ever is because he wasn't actually elected. Okay? He was vice president whenever McKinley got shot. So that's Teddy Roosevelt's definition for you.